LOL. The arrogant kid is killing everything. Introduction. www.zhaozuiyuan.com S8 RNGMSI won the championship, but Jiang Yuzhu was deceived by RNG manager and signed a 5-year garbage contract, even refusing to pay his salary at all. And just as he was kicked out by RNG, he directly awakened the craziest system, and the more arrogant he spoke, the more attribute points he could gain to strengthen himself. From now on, he will continue to https://www.zhaozuiyuan.com. Chapter 1. RNG to terminate the contract. I'll drive straight. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 RNG to terminate the contract. I'll drive straight. On May 20, 2018, LPL's RNG team successfully defeated KZ in the League of Legends 2018 MSI Mid-Season Invitational to win their first MSI championship in team history. At once, there was no difference in popularity. And 10 days later, in the basement of RNG, a handsome young man was wearing his second-hand headphones and playing rank. And just as he was winning another game, suddenly the door to the basement opened. I only saw a man with oily hair, pink face, and well-dressed walk in. Jiang Yuzhu, your contract has been terminated. Please leave. Here is the taxi fare for you, which is 50 yuan. You don't need to repay me. This person's voice was as piercing as a eunuch's, and as he spoke, he drew a $50 bill from his wallet and threw it to the ground. He is the current manager of RNG, named Huang. After winning the RNG MSI championship, he is also quite proud. And today he came by the way to drive out Jiang Yuzhu, who was useless in fighting for supplies. You should know that the current RNG has the world's #1 Mangfu Wild King MLXG and the world's #1 control map Wild King Karsa, and keeping this Jiang Yuzhu is really a waste. However, upon learning of the termination of the contract, Jiang Yuzhu's expression did not change at all. Instead, he slowly stood up and looked straight at Huang Jun. Jiang Yuzhu's height reached 183, while Huang Jun's height was only 1.7 meters. Therefore, the comparison between the two standing together was quite strong. Although Huang Jun came to drive him away, it actually relieved Jiang Yuzhu. Finally, you can leave this cage. He was previously deceived by Huang Jun into signing a 5-year garbage contract at RNG, with a monthly salary of only over 2,000 yuan. He almost thought he would be stuck in this contract for 5 years. Okay. He smiled and didn't pick up the 50 yuan on the ground. Instead, he immediately began packing his luggage. Jiang Yuzhu didn't have much, except for his own dedicated keyboard and mouse, only his most precious second-hand headphones were left. He put these 3 things in his bag and also planned to leave with the package. Huang Jun was somewhat surprised by Jiang Yuzhu's indifferent attitude. You should know that RNG now has the world's #1 equal player Letme, the world's #1 camera control picture player Karsa, the world's #1 Mangfu player MLXG, the world's #1 Chinese player Xiao, the world's #1 AD that best matches the auxiliary Meng, and the most undisputed and almost universally recognized god of AD in world history Uzi. RNG is now essentially the undisputed world's first team. I'm sure I can easily win the world championship in the future. Any professional player would probably even try to come to RNG as a substitute. But Jiang Yuzhu doesn't seem to have any sense of loss. In fact, if Jiang Yuzhu was willing to admit it and lick himself, he might be able to sign him a basic salary sales contract again. After all, Jiang Yuzhu looks like a celebrity, and his face should be able to help RNG attract many female fans in the fan circle. This group of female fans is bound to give Jiang Yuzhu crazy money. Another substantial income. Of course, besides that, he might also be able to leverage Jiang Yuzhu's connections a few pretty girls from this group of female fans But Jiang Yuzhu now doesn't know what's good or bad, with a seemingly indifferent or even somewhat fortunate appearance, which really makes him unhappy. So he sarcastically said. Humph, I don't have any ambition at all. If I can't support the wall with mud, I won't make any progress in my life. Ding, it has been detected that the host has been humiliated. Awakening the craziest system, please immediately counterattack the Yellow Army and obtain 5 attribute points. At this moment, Jiang Yuzhu's mind suddenly heard such a sound. Jiang Yuzhu was originally too lazy to join the Yellow Army, but at this moment, such a voice suddenly rang out in his mind. Hey, is this the awakening of the Golden Finger? Jiang Yuzhu naturally won't miss this opportunity, so he also made a move. Don't be funny, will you be stuck in this trash club contract? That forces the contract to start in 5 or 6 years. Those who know think it's a club signing player, and those who don't think it's a slave trade. And you don't really think you're amazing, do you? Relying on by Xian's relationship as a vampire from that dog day to become a manager really makes me laugh. Previously, they said they would let me live in the basement. Okay, I'll stay and let the labor eat leftover food. I can eat it myself. But you have to pay your salary anyway. I know that the food I cook doesn't deserve a high salary, but what do you mean by not giving me a penny? You RNG won't pay a penny for the past 6 months' salary. Originally, I only paid you more than 2,000 yuan per month, not even more than 2,000 yuan. Let me climb up and hurry. Anyway, the contract has been terminated, and with a reward from the system, Jiang Yuzhu directly activated the extreme mode to charge. Upon hearing this, Huang Jun's face turned pale and purple. He wanted to say something more, but he found that he couldn't refute Jiang Yuzhu at all. How are you talking? I'm the manager of RNG, do you still want to get involved in this industry? Believe it or not, I'll just have you go on the hot search tomorrow. Saying that you're insulting the manager below me. Huang Jun held back for a while, stuttering and blurting out this sentence. Attempting to threaten Jiang Yuzhu, but Jiang Yuzhu wouldn't be afraid. The contract has been terminated now, are you still pretending to be a big-tailed wolf here? You're such a relief. Just go on the hot search, will I be afraid of you? You better let me go on the hot search every day. After saying this, Jiang Yuzhu spat at Huang Jun again and then left the basement, leaving Huang Jun alone in a daze. Ding, successfully completed the counterattack mission and obtained 5 attribute points. As the system beeped, Jiang Yuzhu also secretly rejoiced. When Jiang Yuzhu was about to leave the RNG base from the basement to the upstairs, he happened to meet a tall and short-bodied man walking out of the training room. Only Uzi Jian was proud of the whole RNG club. Uzi is RNG's current ace player. As the only designated Big C for RNG and also a star player for LPL, he naturally feels very strong. Recently, when he was live streaming, he arrogantly said that meeting Faker in the middle was like meeting him down the road. When Jiang Yuzhu first came to RNG, he once played training matches with Uzi and found Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com. At that time, Uzi was too fond of pressing the line, causing him to be repeatedly caught and killed by the opponent's field play. Being spoiled, he naturally didn't think it was his own problem and directly asked Jiang Yuzhu why he didn't help him squat. Jiang Yuzhu is certainly not easy to bully, he immediately got into a fight with Uzi. After offending Uzi this time, it directly led RNG to hold himself on the bench forever until today, and he can be said to have no good feelings for Uzi. Jiang Yuzhu, you're here. The takeout I ordered has arrived. Since you're going out, please help me get the takeout first. Uzi's habitual command. Ding, it has been detected that this person looks down on the host. Please have the host fight back hard. Reward attribute points are 5 points. The system has sent a prompt sound again. Okay, this is a rush to deliver. So Jiang Yuzhu decisively charged again. No, it's just that you've been fighting for so many years and can't even get an S. crown from CJB. How could you be too embarrassed to manipulate people? Uzi heard that Jiang Yuzhu dared to scold him, and at the first moment, it was also a bit warm. I was about to refute Jiang Yuzhu, but soon I was stunned by Jiang Yuzhu's barrage of attacks and couldn't hold back a word. Do you really think you're strong enough to win an MSIF by relying on your vampire teammates? Do MSI champions have skins? You don't really think you're the world's #1 ad, can you compare to Faker? Bang, Deft, IMP, who have you ever played against? Lies won't hurt people, truth is the sharp sword. Jiang Yozhu's words are constantly poking Uzi's lungs. Players without skin are not worthy of being called world #1, which has always been Uzi's biggest concern. Although this MSI championship has covered up many things, it is still an undeniable fact that he did not win a world championship. Chapter 2. Being penniless and forced to live in the home of a female idol. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Being penniless and forced to live in the home of a female idol. After spraying Huang Jun and Uzi, you can still get attribute points, it's not too satisfying. After finishing the refreshing spray, Jiang Yuzhu ignored Jian proudly, who was no longer warm and red, and left RNG's base without hesitation. Now he can be said to have completely offended RNG, and if it were anyone else, they probably wouldn't be able to continue in this circle. But he didn't have that worry at all, because the strength of esports speaks for itself. Now that he has the system as a cheat, he doesn't have to worry about not having a team to rely on him. Ding, successfully completed the task, reward attribute points of 5. In just a moment, Jiang Yuzhu gained 10 attribute points and casually sat down at a coffee shop. Jiang Yuzhu also closed his eyes and opened his system in his mind. Soon his attribute panel was also displayed in front of him. Name. Jiang Yuzhu position. DE developmental ability. 85 plus team battle ability. 82 plus operating ability. 80 plus reaction ability. 90 plus consciousness ability. 93 plus command ability. 88 plus comprehensive evaluation. 86 hero pool. Eternal hunting Gemini Qinjue, master level, plus void dungeon beast Rex, master level, plus embrace of pain Evelyn, master level, plus anger of the north Sejongni, master level, plus blind forest Li Qin, mastery level, plus extraordinary madman Graves, mastery level, plus debong general Xiao Xian, mastery level, plus system sharp review. As a wilderness player, I have an extremely outstanding consciousness and decent command ability. Unfortunately, due to my love for using my brain, my operational level is not outstanding, but it is also completely sufficient and will not lag behind. I have a vast pool of heroes, so I basically don't have to worry about not being able to win versions of heroes in competitions. He is an excellent fielder who is capable of starting in a strong team. It seems that I am quite strong. Indeed, RNG's group of things have no vision. Jiang Yuzhu is still very satisfied with his evaluation. He really relies on his brain and reaction to play games, and is better at reading competitions. If he really wants to say the operation, he can only say it is average. Of course, it will be different after today. Because he had cheating, he directly added all attribute points to his current weakest and most lacking operational ability, and the operational attributes increased from 80 to 90. At the same time, the comprehensive evaluation reached 88 after the surge in attributes. He could clearly feel that his fingers seemed to have become more flexible, which is probably proof of the increase in operational skills. Great. But where should I stay next? Although cheating is enjoyable, he is now facing a very difficult problem. Although he has terminated his contract with RNG and has become stronger, he will definitely not be able to find the team he wants for a while. So what he can do now is actually live streaming to play ranked, earn extra money, and even score high, go find the team for trial training. And his current bank balance good guy, 250 yuan. This RNG is really born. After playing as a substitute at RNG for half a year, he was only paid a salary once. He has already spent almost everything now, and this money is not enough to survive in Donghai City. Can he only go to an internet cafe to cover the night? Okay. It seems like we can only go to the internet cafe to cover the night. Wait a minute, she seems to be in the East China Sea too, maybe we can ask her for help. But will this make me lose face? Forget it, in this situation, I can't even afford to eat now, so let's not worry about face. Jiang Yuzhu remembered someone talking to herself, although a bit reluctant, she quickly prepared herself mentally and then dialed the phone directly. Oh. Isn't this Jiang Dashan? Why don't you call me when you have time? The voice of a woman came from the phone, although it was very pleasant, but the content was full of strange emotions. However, the system did not prompt Jiang Yuzhu to counterattack, mainly because the other party's mockery was not malicious, but could still be heard from inside with a hint of resentment. The woman on the phone is Tang Buzhuo, a childhood sweetheart who grew up with Jiang Yuzhu. She is 1 year older than Jiang Yuzhu and 18 years old. She has debuted on a talent show and is a well-known female idol in a certain girl group. She has a high popularity in China. From a young age, the two of them have always liked to argue with each other every word they say. Of course, there was no malicious intent towards each other, and the more they argued, the better their relationship became. However, Jiang Yuzhu, who used to have a strong heart, swore to make a name for herself in esports after Tang Buzhuo became popular. Therefore, during most of her time at RNG, she had little contact with her. It is also inevitable that the other party will have resentment towards themselves. Cough cough, Tang Buzhuo, I have terminated my contract with RNG and haven't found a new team yet, so I think. Do you want me to help you find a place to live? Tang Buzhuo on the phone quickly guessed Jiang Yuzhu's purpose. Yes. Although the other party is Tang Buzhuo, Jiang Yuzhu still feels a bit embarrassed. After all, he is also a big man. Renting a house in Donghai is very expensive. How about this? You can stay at my house. Tang Buzhuo spoke bluntly. Ha. I'm staying at your house. Do I remember you didn't live in the girls' dormitory? Jiang Yuzhu exclaimed in surprise. My girl's popularity is too high, and the company has decided to let me fly alone. So now I live alone. Wow, you're going to advance from a female idol to a female celebrity, right? Jiang Yuzhu half-jokingly said. Half an hour later, carrying a small black bag, Jiang Yuzhu also arrived at a high-end apartment in Donghai City based on the address given by Tang Buzhuo. Most of the people in and out of this apartment were either wealthy or wealthy. Tang Buzhuo lived in room 302 of a building. Arriving at the entrance of room 302, Jiang Yuzhu also pressed the doorbell and quickly opened the door of the book garden www.zhaozuiyuan.com. A beautiful and unattractive woman appeared in front of Jiang Yuzhu. Tang Buzhuo was really beautiful, with a height of 170 and a perfectly proportioned figure. Although she was wearing ordinary casual home clothes, it was difficult to conceal her graceful figure. Coupled with her face, which was a disaster for the country and the people, it was even more attractive. It was like walking out of a novel, pure and lustful. There is no man in this world who can refuse such a woman unless he is not a man. Of course, Jiang Yuzhu has become accustomed to this face, so he can naturally say hello. Long time no see, Tang Buzhuo. Humph, you didn't know you came looking for me until you couldn't make it anymore. Just let you stay for a few days. Tang Buzhuo hugged her chest with both hands. Although she said so, the corners of her mouth were slightly upturned. It seemed that he was also very happy to see Jiang Yuzhu again. There's really no other way, RNG is such a disgusting team. I've been a substitute for half a year, purely playing as a laborer. The river has a jus roast. After Tang Buzhuo, he led Jiang Yuzhu to his new room. Inside, there was a bed, wardrobe, and window, which was 100 times stronger than the garbage basement he had previously lived in at RNG. More importantly, Jiang Yuzhu was surprised to find a top-of-the-line computer with a large screen in the room. Moreover, there are almost all live streaming facilities available, and Jiang Yuzhu's eyes are filled with red stars when watching. I didn't expect you to have such a treasure. I remember you never played games, right? Jiang Yuzhu excitedly hugged the cool computer host and couldn't let go. Before. The person who renovated it just installed it, by the way. Don't turn your face, Tang Buzhuo. She wouldn't tell Jiang Yuzhu that she started playing League of Legends for Jiang Yuzhu. Chapter 3. Open Live Rank. Smash the Tarzan Wilderness. 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Open Live Rank. Smash the Tarzan Wilderness. 3,000-word seal. After moving into Tang Buzhuo's home, Jiang Yuzhu officially began his career as a professional player. Therefore, his goal is to directly enter the top 10 of the Korean server within half a month, which should attract the attention of many professional teams. He first opened the live broadcast room through a certain station, and before going to RNG, he had been a live streamer for a period of time. Unfortunately, because he didn't show his face or speak, there were hardly any viewers. He remembered that the only audience he had at that time was a little milk tea named Yuen Bobo. However, this little milk tea always sprayed at him from time to time when he was cooking, which made him speechless. However, even so, this little milk tea was the only one who would always accompany him, so he let it go. After starting the live broadcast, he also turned on the camera and microphone this time. He really needs money now, and as a broadcaster, if you want to make money, showing your face and adding a microphone is undoubtedly very important. After preparing beforehand, he also opened his Korean server. His Korean server ID is called YZZ, which means a pig, and his current score is 220 points for a Korean server master. At present, the top scorer in the Korean server is Tarzan from the Griffin team in the LCK division, with the Kings scoring 1230 points, which is indeed terrifying. It should be noted that when Jiang Yuzhu was strongest, he only scored 800 points in the Korean server. But now his operation has made a qualitative leap compared to before, and he is confident that he can make it to the top 10 in the Korean server within half a month. In the world of professional players, high scores often indicate that you are very strong. Of course, there are examples of high scores but low abilities, or low scores and high energy, but these are only small sample events, not the norm. Overall, high scores can still indicate your strength. Many of the top players in previous Korean server competitions have won the Tournament championship. Why did the anchor still show his face today? Did he start following the idle route because he played too much? He quickly started ranking, and the Korean server's top division had to wait for a long time. At this moment, the Taro Round Wave Small Milk Tea appeared again. You should know that Jiang Yuzhu has not live-streamed for half a year, and this product can still come to his live broadcast room as soon as possible. Yeah. I cooked too much. But don't you also love watching my dishes? Jiang Yuzhu smiled and said. It's boring. Yuen Bobo Little Milk Tea sent another barrage, and then she even brushed a gift worth 30 yuan in Jiang Yuzhu's live broadcast room. Thank you for the gift of the Taro Round Wave Small Milk Tea. Jiang Yuzhu immediately thanked him. And soon Jiang Yuzhu was also in line, and when he saw the ID across from him, he also smiled. Tarzan. Can the master rank first on the Korean server even with 200 points? It seems like he can easily defeat the opponent. Ding, after testing, it has been found that Tarzan, the opponent in this rank match, once represented by LPL as a Korean aid representative in another parallel world and played an extremely bad performance. Please make sure to completely defeat him and reward him with 7 attribute points. Parallel world. Oh my goodness, this Tarzan is so loyal to his country in the world competition. That really needs to be taught hard. If there is a task, then he naturally needs to be more serious. Jiang Yuzhu then directly chose the Void Escape Beast Rexii on the first floor. His purpose in choosing this hero is also simple and clear: he wants to directly destroy Tarzan's wilderness within 15 minutes. Meanwhile, Tarzan on the other side was also chosen by his backhand Kant, which was equivalent to fearless Jiang Yuzhu having to compete with him in the early stage rhythm. And soon, the lineup on both sides was also finalized. Jiang Yuzhu, who was in the blue side, had the upper single Sword Demon, the Wild Rexii, the middle single Syndra, the AD Skateboard Shoes, and the auxiliary Hammer Stone on his side, and the purple side is the upper single weapon, targeting Xiao Xian in the wilderness, middle single Robbery, AD Female Police Officer, and auxiliary Robot. Both sides of the lineup are quite irritable, indicating a lineup that is about to fight fiercely. As the game begins, Jiang Yuzhu refused to let Hammerstone and Callista help drive and chose to drive at a single red speed of 4. As for why, it's actually quite simple. If he helps drive on the road at night and exposes his wild route, Tarzan will directly determine that he is driving at a red speed, which means the opposite side will also know his movements. Jiang Yuzhu doesn't want this. In fact, in rank, there are usually no such details. It's just that the task is on the body, and Jiang Yuzhu must win against Tarzan to obtain attribute points before choosing to solo. He then quickly went from red to wild monster speed 4 in Toad 6, and Jiang Yuzhu, who likes to use his brain, naturally has top-notch details in his wild brush. After finishing all 6 sets of wild monsters, it only took 3 minutes and 20.9 seconds. And at this moment, he also arrived at the location of Shanhe Crab. He found that his Shanlu Sword Demon had made a lot of money through several waves of blood exchange, and he had access to the upper lane. Therefore, Tarzan must not have dared to compete with him for Shanhe Crab. He must have gone to eat the river crab, and he was on par with the opponent on the lower lane. In the middle, they are being pressed and beaten by the opposite side. Jiang Yuzhu's intuition was very keen, and he quickly signaled the robot to go down the road and insert the triangular grass. And as expected, Tarzan's Xiao Xian quickly appeared at the triangular grass on the lower road. And at this point, if Tarzan is at level 3, it's basically certain that he still has wild monsters to finish brushing. And as a result, the down road duo was able to respond in advance, avoiding being caught off guard by gank. Tarzan had no choice but to go back and continue farming. However, he gave up on gank, and after Jiang Yuzhu finished brushing the river crab, he directly activated it. At this time, in 3 minutes and 50 seconds, the opponent's weapon on the way was pressed under the tower due to excessive bleeding and unhealthy health. Of course, Jiang Yuzhu's Sword Demon was also almost half health. Jiang Yuzhu decided to detour directly to the Stone Man grass. As he was on the way to the Great Wave Tower's advance line, Sword Demon activated the W Evil Fire Chain, and his weapon quickly activated the E skill and chose to go up and compete with Sword Demon. In his opinion, this Sword Demon was purely from the top, and he relied on the defense tower to compete with Sword Demon to win. It was definitely him. Even if the opponent fights and crosses the tower, he still has a flash to escape. However, the next moment, when Jiang Yuzhu emerged from the Stone Man grass, he was completely dumbfounded. After being hit by the defense tower A, Sword Demon immediately shifted and flashed away from the range of the tower. Sword Demon had basically done everything he could. The next wave of tower crossing was up to Jiang Yuzhu. All the life-saving skills of the weapon had been handed in, and the only thing left was flash. He will flash to the right. As if it were a death prediction, Jiang Yuzhu directly predicted the location of the weapon's flash, manipulating Lexus to flash towards his predicted position. As expected, the weapon flashed to the right and collided directly with the successfully predicted Lexus flash in dungeon mode. Then, W broke through the ground and pushed up the weapons that had lost his E skills to counterattack the storm, and Q jump slash and flash. Finally, Red Anger E dropped the weapon in seconds. Finally, he also returned to the underground and left gracefully. First blood. Jiang Yozhu's pre-judgment flash was so impressive that it took off. It has to be said that after adding attribute points to the level of operation, Jiang Yozhu's hands are much more sensitive than before. If it were in the past, even if he could predict the flash of weapons, his hands may not be able to keep up. But now all the operations of the weapon seem to be slow, and his hands can easily keep up. However, this is far from enough. After returning home to update and play with a wave of equipment, Jiang Yuzhu rushed straight to the bottom. He knew that this match was a battle of early rhythm, and the side with the better early rhythm in the wild was the winner. In the situation where Tarzan failed on the road and it was not easy to catch Hindra in the middle, Tarzan's only goal must be to go down. Jiang Yuzhu signaled his teammate to press the line, intending to squat back and perform a wave of Tarzan, while he also accurately stuck his gaze into the grass on the way down. As expected, 10 seconds later Tarzan emerged again from the triangular grass and attacked Hammerstone and Callista, but he clearly did not expect Rek'Sai to have been waiting for him in the grass for half a day. Finally arrived, it's much slower than I expected. Jiang Yuzhu smiled, and then when Tarzan thought he could catch Callista and Hammerstone, the excavator suddenly opened a tunnel and broke through the ground, directly lifting Tarzan. Meanwhile, Callista and Hammerstone, who were going down the road, quickly arrived and surrounded Tarzan. Tarzan didn't react at all, and Jiang Yuzhu didn't expect him to come down the road and squat. The opposite side of the road was also panicked at the moment, and the soldiers didn't even care about coming up to help Tarzan. However, it was not very useful. Callista and the excavator were too strong when searching for books at www.zhaoxuan.com. A level 5 Xiao Xian couldn't bear it and was instantly knocked down. And at this point, the duo who planned to help Tarzan on the way down couldn't escape. Hammerstone accurately hooked the female police officer, hooked her up, and then used the E-Doom pendulum to send the female police officer to the mouth of Callista and Rex, but was instantly killed. It has to be said that the hook of this Hammerstone carries the element of prediction, and it hooks very accurately. It should be a very powerful auxiliary. The next robot, although attempting to run while driving, was clearly unable to escape and was instantly knocked down. Double kill. Coincidentally, all the heads were taken by Jiang Yuzhu, and the previous weapon already had 4 heads in hand, dominating the game. This also means that the competition is completely over. And this one only started for 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Jiang Yuzhu took 4 heads and then directly controlled Xiao with his teammates, which means that he had completely destroyed Tarzan's rhythm in the early stage. The next game entered garbage time, and he even carried out a crazy slaughter of Tarzan, living directly in his wilderness and constantly running to his wilderness to arrest him. In just over 10 minutes, I killed poor little Xiao Xian 5 times in the wilderness alone, but unfortunately, I couldn't make Tarzan super ghostly, because in 20 minutes, I just clicked directly across from him. This one basically exploded Tarzan's wilderness and completed the task directly. In this game, Jiang Yuzhu was not surprised to win the MVP with a perfect record of 10.0.12. At this moment, inside Griffin Base, looking at the dim computer screen, Tarzan looked incredulous. This game was not because he couldn't play online, but because he couldn't play in the wilderness and lost, but because his pure wilderness skills were ruined. Chapter 4. Sweet Double Rose with Meiko, Dueling Little Peanuts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Sweet Double Rose with Meiko, Dueling Little Peanuts. Seeking collection and follow.up reading. In this game, Jiang Yuzhu was not surprised to win the MVP with a perfect record of 10.0.12. At this moment, inside the Griffin base, looking at the dim computer screen, Tarzan looked incredulous. This game was not because he couldn't play online, but because his pure wilderness skills were ruined. As Griffin's absolute core player now, he has just crushed the 2nd-tier league and will be going to play LCK next season. In the rank, he asks himself that he has never encountered an opponent. Even occasional losses are not my own problem. Now being crushed in this form in a rank. This undoubtedly deeply undermined his self-confidence. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully destroying the Tarzan wilderness. Reward attribute points of 7. Jiang Yuzhu sighed. As the system beeped, Jiang Yuzhu happily added 5 attribute points to his developmental ability and 2 to his ability to form balls. In fact, for some professional wilderness players, developmental ability is sometimes not very important, because in professional competitions, wilderness players are often positioned as semi-tool players, driving the early rhythm is the key, and double C is responsible for hitting damage. This is also why nowadays, similar to IG Sning in RNG's MLXG can achieve good results. Although they are mediocre and have no skills in wild brushing, they have the highest level of early sense of smell. Being able to continuously find rhythm in the early stages to help double C establish an advantage. However, in Jiang Yozhu's view, the ability to carry is also necessary for playing in the wild. When the wild core version, Qianjue, and male guns become popular, the development ability of playing in the wild will be crucial. In fact, Jiang Yuzhu was originally known for his skillful use of Qianjue to dominate the national costume. He was once known as the 1000th Jew in the national costume because he was always able to calculate the opponent's field position through his powerful field planning ability, perfectly controlling every Qianjue's mark. At the same time, in team battles, they can repeatedly use perfect moves to turn the tide of the battle. And choosing to enhance developmental ability is also to better adapt to the gameplay of wild nuclei. At this point, his attributes have changed to Name. Jiang Yuzhu Position. Di Developmental Ability. 90 plus Team Combat Ability. 84 plus Operating Ability. 90 plus Reaction Ability. 90 plus Consciousness Ability. 93 plus Command Ability. 88 plus Comprehensive Evaluation. 89 with a total rating of 89, Jiang Yuzhu almost made it to 90, so he worked even harder to rank. However, just as he started ranking again, a friend request suddenly appeared in the upper right corner of the client, which was a hammer stone from the top, adding his own friend. Because the hammer stone was really good to play with, Jiang Yuzhu also directly agreed to the other party's friend request. Hi. KR or CN. The other side seemed unaware of Jiang Yuzhu's nationality, and the first sentence was also a probing question. CN, it's a bit impressive, buddy. I just blew up Tarzan on the other side. It's even more fierce than every time I line up on the other side, like a dog. I'm going to get his share of it. After learning about Jiang Yuzhu's nationality, the other party sent a message praising him. Jiang Yuzhu smiled directly, but he also politely replied. It's okay, it's okay. Your hammer and stone are also very strong, and you've hooked the opposite buttocks to rot. Double row together, isn't it? Recently, the Korean server has been so disgusting that I have to play in the wild. Just like actors, I need a wild guy to take me flying. Of course you can. Jiang Yuzhu readily agreed to the other party's request, and then the two entered Lianmai. The sound coming from the opposite side also made Jiang Yuzhu very familiar. Can you hear me, brother? Brother, are you Meiko Tni, the assistant of EDG? My name is Jiang Yuzhu, and I am now a small anchor. I didn't expect to meet you so coincidentally. Jiang Yuzhu remembers when Spring Ju RNG played EDG, RNG once took him to the competition venue. He also met Meiko backstage and was familiar with his voice. He was a young man wearing glasses and was pure white. However, as an assistant, he was extremely excellent, both soft and hard. Representing the heroes Hammer Stone and Nami. Jiang Yuzhu believes that in terms of honor and strength, Meiko should be the first assistant in LPL. Before LPL won the World Cup Championship, his MSI Championship and 3 League Championship honors were basically unique. Unfortunately, their team's ad is a bit fond of giving away. Speaking of which, he thought Meiko's personality should be quite gentle, but he didn't expect him to speak quite interestingly. Yeah, but now I'm just a stinky runner-up, there's nothing to say. Meiko said helplessly. It was clear that he still remembers the defeat in the spring final clearly. If EDG had won at that time, would it be them who won the MSI championship? But it doesn't seem to make much sense to think about these things now. I think with your strength, you will eventually win the championship, and try to get a hammer stone skin to play with. Believe me so much, how could I be so fierce? It would be great if I could make it to the World Cup this summer. Meiko felt that Jiang Yuzhu was probably comforting him and couldn't help but tease him. Just like this, as the two of them chatted, we started a new round of rank quickly. However, the next rank did not trigger the task as before. It's a great pity. The first one in the double row with my sister, the ID of the opposite field player, caught their attention. It's Peanut. He eliminated us the year before last and really blew us up. Because it has been 2 years now, Meiko has already let go of that failure and even mocked herself. It must be said that this mentality is indeed much better than Uzi's. In fact, he doesn't need to say that Jiang Yuzhu knows how devastating that defeat was for EDG. As the top seed of LPL's all-time victory, Zhaoshuyuan.com lost to ROX Tiger in that way. He remembers that the entire network was brushing that shameful number. Jiang Yuzhu, as a wilderness player, also wanted to play professionally because he saw the factory director win the MSI championship and be full of energy in the FMVP. It can be said that the factory director is his idol in his professional career, but losing is losing. Others will not remember how good you played before, but will only remember your worst game. Then spray you. This is understandable. Just a little flower student, I'll take revenge for you. Watch me kill him. Is it true or not? The opposite side is now LCK's first wild game. Say, explosive kill or explosive kill. Meiko clearly doesn't believe that Jiang Yuzhu can really win over Xiao Peanut. Although he hasn't played RNG in this MSI, he has also won the Spring Championship with KZ, making him the undisputed first Wild King of LCK. You'll know by looking at it later. Jiang Yuzhu has great confidence in her current self, seeing that Little Peanut on the other side chose Olaf. Jiang Yuzhu decisively chose Blind Monk, and the BP in this scene was also very interesting. On Jiang Yuzhu's side, the blue BP was Lembo, Blind Monk, Jess, female police officer, and Nami. And on the other side of Little Peanuts, there are red squares of Keenan, Olaf, Ruiz, Jean, and Kalma. It's exactly the same as the BP when Ming Kai was beaten to 4,396 back then. Even Meiko felt like a world away when she saw this BP. At the beginning of the game, the wild monsters were refreshed in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Jiang Yuzhu, out of his usual way, chose to use a blue buff to play alone, but he did not choose Speed 4. Instead, he used 3 sets of Wild Speed 3 to start the game based on blue, toad, and red standards. While clearing the details, he also kept pressing F2 to F5 for ultra-fast screen cuts. Upon checking the movements of his teammates, he found that the next battle was undoubtedly the most intense. Chapter 5. Playing with Peanuts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Playing with Peanuts. Meiko seemed particularly eager to win this game, and Nami led the female police officer to crazily suppress Jean and Kalma from the opposite side. His Nami blisters were incredibly accurate, and in just a few minutes, he managed to hit the other side 10 times. For jungle fighting, it should be the most vicious path to catch a fight. This is an unchanging law, so logically speaking, Jiang Yuzhu should also go and catch the road, but he must think the same way as Xiao Peanut. That anti-squat is definitely impossible. The speed difference between the two is not much, and they cannot achieve early positioning themselves. So now, there are only 2 paths left for him. The first is to play 3v3 after the speed 3, and whoever wins will earn The second thing is to speed up 3 at the same time and then go to the river to arrest Little Peanuts. 2 jungle fights are directly 1v1. Jiang Yuzhu made a decisive decision. The opposite side is now under the tower, and there is a big rascal like Olaf in 3v3. It's hard to say. It's difficult to earn something, and if it's possible, he'll still lose. If it's 1v1, he's confident he can win. Sister Ko, be careful that Little Peanut may come. I'll go to the river to find him now. You just keep pressing the other side and don't come to help me. Jiang Yuzhu is busy with the road. Okay, I've already inserted my eyes. It's up to you. Okay. When Jiang Yuzhu quickly rushed down the road, he chose to walk openly through the Sanjieko River, and as expected, he saw Little Peanuts. The two met in the middle of the river, and both sides are now struggling to separate their middlemen, making it difficult to come and support them in the short term. So it directly became a single challenge for Jiang Yuzhu and Little Peanut. At this point, both sides were only at level 3. After meeting, neither of them acted recklessly, while a river crab slowly walked in the river channel. And in order to compete for this river crab, the two would not choose to turn around and leave, otherwise they would lose out on the river crab. A solo battle is on the verge of breaking out, and against heroes like Olaf who are getting more and more fierce, blind monks cannot stand up with him. They must win by pulling. But after Olaf predicted Jiang Yuzhu's position, he threw an axe directly at him. However, Jiang Yuzhu's operation has evolved now, and he only twisted to the right to avoid this axe. After avoiding the axe, Jiang Yuzhu's active turn will follow. But Olaf rushed straight towards the direction of the axe he had just thrown, ready to pick it up and continue fighting against the blind monk. What a brainless hero. Jiang Yuzhu roast, but the action of his hand was unequivocal. Another extremely accurate prediction was made. After the blind monk's Tianyin bow successfully predicted Olaf's movement, he directly hit him, followed by a second Q, which was a direct melee. The E-skill Thunderbolt was released, and then he continuously faced A, directly lowering Olaf's health line by half. Of course, Olaf's standing and fighting ability is very strong, so even if he avoids his axe, standing and fighting with him with a W and increasing passive attack speed is likely to be counter-killed, so he must pull and fight to complete a single kill. When the blind monk's health exceeded half and Olaf only had 1/3 left, Olaf finally activated the W skill, which can increase attack speed and shield, and coupled with passivity, it has provided Olaf with a very considerable attack speed. Even if blind monk's health is leading now, it is impossible to win against Olaf in this state. But Jiang Yuzhu still remained calm and composed. Watching him quickly grasp the distance and place an eye against the wall of the small dragon pit, followed by the displacement of the W wall, leaving Olaf's flat range and slipping into the small dragon pit. Olaf's duration was only 4 seconds. When he realized that the distance was being pulled away, the Little Peanuts in the KZ base ground were dumbfounded. He had thought that the blind monk would touch his eyes to pull away the distance, but he never expected that he would touch his eyes in that position and enter the small dragon pit, causing him to lose sight. He then immediately looked up and threw an axe into the small dragon pit in blind sight, flashing into it. Xiaolonking plans to chase the blind monk and fight. How stupid. You have flashes, and I have flashes too. Seeing Little Peanut above, Jiang Yuzhu sneered and then flashed back to his previous position from Little Dragon Pit. Olaf no longer had the ability to pursue, and at the same time, Jiang Yuzhu's CD ended. He once again threw a heavenly sound wave into Little Dragon Pit and successfully hit Olaf. Olaf's W skill lasted for 4 seconds and had already ended. After the blind monk's second Q close up, he chased Olaf relentlessly in the dragon pit. At this point, Olaf was already at the end of his rope, although he had exhausted the blood of the blind monk to only 1 grid with his powerful standing and masturbating ability. But in the end, Jiang Yuzhu completed the single kill. First blood. This Buzhuo Yuzhu is like playing with Little Peanut like a monkey, 2 in and 2 out of the dragon pit, making the person who hit Little Peanut dizzy. Tianxiu's operation is really satisfying. This is the level of operation that has reached 90 points. Paired with his already terrifying brain, he is now approaching perfection as a wilderness fighter. After strolling the peanuts, Jiang Yuzhu also lit a sign to show ridicule. Isn't it too beautiful? Brother Jiang. Meiko has no airs of being a senior at all. When she saw Jiang Yuzhu so beautiful, she gave her a big blow. I told you earlier, Little Peanut is such a wild and ruthless person. I'll just kick him like a ball when I reach level 6 later. Jiang Yuzhu proudly said. After killing Little Peanuts alone, Jiang Yuzhu quickly went home to update his equipment. He didn't intend to spend too much time in the wild, so he wanted to directly attack 3 routes. Later, he found a rhythm in the middle and helped the middle to gain an advantage. After getting dirty, he ordered his troops to level 6 in about 6 minutes. And his next goal is to go down. After all, going down is their most advantageous path now. Meiko Nami's blister is indeed unique, and she can hit the opponent's ashes 3 times out of 5 throws. For Nami, this hit rate is very terrifying. Although it did not form a line kill, the AD opponent has already been overpowered by 25. The opposite side is almost dead, and their health has already been consumed by more than half, to the point where they can cross the tower. Jiang Yuzhu did not hesitate to go straight online. According to the psychology of playing in the wild, when balancing power, he should be unpredictable and try not to expose his position as much as possible. When one's own side has a significant advantage, the outfield can appear boldly at a specific time, giving greater pressure to the opposing team and causing their operations to deform. However, Xia Huang seemed to have anticipated that the blind monk would choose to come down, and at the moment Jiang Yuzhu appeared, he also appeared. It should be said that Little Peanuts also has strength. Even though they collapsed at the beginning, they have now reached level 6. Chapter 6. Kicking Little Peanuts as a ball. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Kick Little Peanuts as a ball. Don't want me to expand my advantage, do you want to drag on Keenan's development? At present, although there is an advantage in the middle and down roads, the Lembo from Jiang Yuzhu's side on the road is clearly a planting, and he has already been killed twice by the opposite Kanan in 6 minutes. This is also why Jiang Yuzhu completely ignored the road, helping the better rather than the worse. This principle should be understood by normal people. Olaf has a great move and there are also many opposing soldiers, which makes him feel uncomfortable. Why don't we just forget about it? In the case of 3v3, it is obviously unwise for Olaf's tower, who has a great skill at level 6, to surpass it. Meiko also plans to give up. Looking at Little Peanuts, they can directly work with their AD assistant in the tower turtle, with a look like you can press my knife, but you can't cross my tower. It's okay, let's get on the road and get off the middle road. Fight a big ball. This wave must smash the opposite side. Jiang Yuzhu did not intend to drag on like this until the later stage. He vowed to smash the opponent in this wave, otherwise when an explosive and fat Keenan developed, a thunderstorm could easily electrocute the 5 of them and cause them to be overturned. Therefore, he directly signaled Lembo to follow Jess TP. Are you so brave? Okay, trust you once. Meiko was directly shocked, but because Jiang Yuzhu's previous performance was too outstanding, Lembo and Jess trusted him immensely, so the 2 of them went straight to play. But the other side is not eating dry food either, and Kenneth Ritz also lit up his TP at the same time, with 4 beams of light shining straight into the sky. After all his teammates were in the TP position, Jiang Yuzhu began his amazing performance again. Just watching his blind monk's Q accurately cross the military line and hit Jin's body, Jiang Yuzhu can certainly choose to go up and touch the eye, spin and kick Jin back, but that's all. At most, they can exchange one for another. Although exchanging ads in the wild is definitely their side's profit, it's not enough to break the opponent. So what he needs to do is seduce. Just looking at the blind monk, he went straight to the second section of the heavenly sound wave and fought back. Almost at the same time, the opposite side thought that the blind monk was going to touch the eyes and kick the ember. Everyone was the king of Hanbok, so it was predicted that the blind monk would appear behind the ember. That position was quite dangerous. Once the blind monk successfully kicked the blind monk, 4 of them might be wearing tomatoes on sticks with this foot. When the time came, they collapsed directly, so they were forced to throw their skills towards it. Olaf even launched a big move to avoid being swayed by the blind monk's dragon tail and string gourds. However, the blind monk's subsequent actions made them dumbfounded. He even touched the soldier and went back halfway through the displacement. Although the blind monk did have the option to operate in this way, because it was too dangerous, they did not expect the blind monk to do so. Only Kennen remained calm and did not magnify. Cut, hasn't the most crucial skill been forced out? Is Kennen so rational? Aren't you afraid of being kicked for by me? Alright, we're making a lot of money. Most of Olaf is gone. We'll have a big advantage when we join the team later. Meiko exclaimed excitedly. However, Jiang Yozhu's spirit at this time was still highly concentrated and did not slack off at all. Both sides tugged for a while again, and as the line slowly pushed back, the other side also lost the protection of the defense tower. Jiang Yozhu's entire attention was focused on Kennen. And finally, when the female police officer accidentally made a positioning mistake and was directly hit by Olaf's axe to slow down, Kennen naturally wouldn't miss this opportunity and just flashed open. At the same time, Jean also launched a big move, slowing down the group. Coupled with Karma's group acceleration, the 5 people on the opposite side rushed forward with the fastest momentum. As long as they defeated the female police officer, they would definitely win. I won't let you succeed. At the moment when Kennen flashed up and started his big move, Jiang Yuzhu once again touched his eyes and kicked Kennen in the face. The dragon's tail swing was quite beautiful, and he kicked Kennen back directly, while also flying Olaf behind him. After resolving Kennen's ultimate move, Nami also quickly opened up, and the huge waves lifted the 5 people across from her. Bubbles then continued to control Kennen and Olaf, and C.Position began to exert force. Lembo also threw a big move, and Jess flashed up and hit a heavy hammer. Female police officer Crazy Crotch output. Ace. Almost perfect team battle instantly defeated the 5 members of the Red Army. And Jiang Yuzhu directly took the heads of Kennen and Olaf who were kicked by him as the ball and won a double kill. Nice, this kick is too handsome. This group once again refreshed Meiko's understanding of Jiang Yuzhu. It was too fierce, including operation, reaction, consciousness, command, and mentality. He possesses all the qualities that a professional athlete should possess. He's like Ming Kai at his peak. No, he's stronger than him. If he comes to EDG maybe after this round of play, the opponent also collapsed directly. Jiang Yuzhu kicked Little Peanuts back and forth like a ball, and in the end, the base was pushed and he achieved a 0.8 Super Ghost record. Jiang Yuzhu, on the other hand, has achieved a substitute level training record of 15.0.4 and is delighted to improve his MVP. At that time, the Little Peanuts in KZ base also shook their heads helplessly. Jing Hao, this blind monk is really amazing. I can't beat him at all. It's okay, it's just rank. There's no need to take it to heart. Got it, brother Jing Hao. Thank you. Originally, Little Peanut was in a double row, and he was paired with his former teammate Smeb during his time with the Tigers. Looking for Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, it seems that it's not surprising that Lembo was abused like that. Afterwards, Jiang Yuzhu and his sister teamed up in a double row and fought 10 more times, mostly due to Jiang Yuzhu's explosive rhythm in the early stages and various chaotic killings. And the younger sister basically punched through the string, and neither of them knew how to write the input. Brother, you are also too fierce. Such achievements can be achieved by humans. Why don't you go professional like this? Being a small anchor here is too wasteful. Although several years older than Jiang Yuzhu, Meiko still calls him his brother. I have no choice. I used to work as a substitute for RNG's B team, but ended up playing a training game. After offending Uzi, the group asked me to stay in the basement, eat leftovers, and not pay me a monthly salary of 2,000 yuan. I even terminated my contract yesterday, and now I can only live at a friend's house to make ends meet. After all, I have to eat. RNG, there's really no way. Meiko has also been a professional for several years. The RNG card contract scam involving players has been covered up by their strong marketing abilities in the outside world, but it is basically unknown in the industry. In fact, someone like Jiang Yuzhu who can escape unscathed is already considered lucky. However, I haven't given up on the idea of playing a profession at the moment. If there is a team, you can introduce it to me based on the fact that we have played in double rows together. Jiang Yuzhu half-jokingly said that he certainly didn't expect his sister Ko to introduce him to the team. After all, they just met by chance in the ranking and had a good friend relationship. Do you want to come to EDG for a trial? I think your strength can be a good choice. However, to his surprise, Meiko threw an olive branch directly at Jiang Yuzhu. Chapter 7. Live streaming is explosive. Treat the top division as a drone and act like a arrogant kid. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Live streaming is explosive. Treat the top division as a drone and act like a arrogant kid. Go to your team. But with Clear Love and Harrow around, it's probably difficult for me to have a spot. Maybe I can give it a try when I finish first on the Korean server. Jiang Yuzhu Dao, actually Harrow is not bad, mainly because Clear Love is the first person in LPL to play in the wilderness so far, and also a star player. He once defeated the Triple Crown champion SKT and won the FMVP on MSI, and also won the league championship 5 times. Although his operation has declined due to his age, he is always irreplaceable in the eyes of EDG fans. Trying to replace him as an EDG fielder is quite stressful and challenging, and if he doesn't perform well, he might end up being criticized. But similarly, if you can win a world championship as an EDG fielder that even the factory director cannot win, then you will receive corresponding praise. Because EDG's field position holds special significance for LPL. Coming to EDG can be very stressful, and I understand if you don't want to come. However, EDG welcomes you anytime. Meiko didn't directly force Jiang Yuzhu to come. Everyone has their own aspirations, and he still understands this very well. After that, when we have time, we can row together. I'll go play a training match. Wow, after playing so many ranks, do you still need to train? It's so hard. That's for sure, don't underestimate professional players. Let's go. As his sister deducted Guanmai, Jiang Yuzhu glanced at his own score. Today, he played 12 rounds of rank, with an average of 20 points added to each round. In one day, he scored 240 points, and currently he is a Hanfu master with 480 points. At present, it seems that the Korean server king needs to score 650 points to advance to the top 200, so it seems that there is still a long way to go. Jiang Yuzhu closed the client and then planned to watch the barrage in the live broadcast room. He thought to himself that after playing the top game all day today, he was a bit tired. I don't know if the audience will increase, but he would be very happy to have 5 or 6 more. And when he opened his phone to watch the barrage in his live broadcast room, his mouth opened directly with an O. At this moment, countless barrage of bullets filled his entire screen. What's even more outrageous is the popularity of his live broadcast room, which has already reached 8 million and the number of viewers has also reached 500,000. Previously, due to his excessive focus on gaming, he didn't even pay attention to his live broadcast room. He didn't expect to become popular by playing ranked games. The anchor has only started watching Barrage now, how much he loves playing games. The anchor is really fierce, killing those South Korean sticks and fighting wild, bringing glory to the country. Stronger than anyone else, don't become a professional and make a name for yourself, just stay here as a small anchor. The anchor is so handsome. Do you have a girlfriend? If not, DD. By the way, my man. Looking at the various barrage and dazzling gifts, Jiang Yuzhu didn't know what to say for a moment. In fact, it can be said that his popularity in the live broadcast room is basically inevitable. His appearance and physique can easily crush the group of fresh meat on TV, not to mention the skills he demonstrated in the live broadcast. He even treated the current first wild game in the Korean server and the first wild king in the LCK as a pig slaughterer, and playing the top game in the Korean server was like hitting a human machine. His arrogant personality also makes people laugh. After discovering him, the owner of a certain website directly pushed his live broadcast room to the homepage. In less than 10 hours, he directly attracted countless viewers and became a top-tier anchor. Now these viewers are giving gifts that are just over 1,000 small TVs and cannot count them clearly. And at this moment, the system in his mind sounded again. It has been detected that over 200,000 people are watching the host's live broadcast at this time. Please publicly announce to everyone that you will kill the entire LCK and win the World Championship this year. The system will give corresponding attribute points based on the host's level of arrogance. Good guy. It seems like I need to be a little more crazy. Anyway, Jiang Yuzhu has always been like the leader of heaven, his second son, from childhood to adulthood. He is best at this kind of work. I didn't expect so many people. But everyone has seen it too. Playing in the wilderness like Tarzan Little Peanut is not much different from playing in a drone game. I didn't expect this kind of player to be able to play professionally. I feel like after I entered the world competition this year, the group of colored pens next door in Korea can only give me championship skins. As soon as these words were spoken, Jiang Yuzhu's live broadcast room exploded again. The anchor is amazing. If you dare to say that, I would like to call him the craziest player, but I reckon he will be targeted by the Koreans. Why can't we mock our family's reputation without what the team wants? We only know how to rank, so we can't compete. I'll go. How come there's still Han Zai? I didn't see the anchor chatting with Meiko and saying it was because she offended Uzi and was refrigerated by RNG. All I can say is that RNG is like this, supporting the anchor to join EDG and avenge RNG. Don't fantasize about it, pig za. Uzi is the world's #1 ad. You wouldn't think that EDG could win RNG by switching to this unemployed wilderness player, would you? I'm laughing to death. Ding, the host's comments have caused a sensation, with a level of A and a reward attribute of 5 points. Is this only A level? But the 5 attribute points are still good, isn't it? To be honest, even Jiang Yuzhu can only talk about this level for the time being. If he wants to reach the S. level on Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, do he have to directly say, "Are you ready to go to the World Championship to hang and fight against the opposing group of baseball players?" Alright, that's all for today's live broadcast. Thank you all for your support. We will continue broadcasting tomorrow morning, and when the host reaches the top 10 on the Korean server, we will go play professional games and make a name for ourselves. Jiang Yuzhu saw that the broadcast had already been full for 10 hours, so he directly chose to turn it off. Although the gifts in his live broadcast room were countless like a tide, he adhered to the principle of never working overtime. Still shut down. I'm sorry, this anchor has such a personality. Why not take advantage of so many people brushing gifts now and broadcast more for a while? Is it just a waste of money? Hehe. Maybe he doesn't lack money at all. If he doesn't look at the place he lives, it looks like a high-end apartment. It's probably because he's pursuing his dreams that RNG tricked him. Poor pig treasure. Mom will love you for a lifetime. Can the rice hoop on top look similar? After a day of live streaming, Jiang Yuzhu also felt hungry. He looked at the time and saw that it was already 6 p.m. He was about to go out for dinner, but when he opened the door, he smelled a smell of meat. I'll go, I feel like there's something good to eat. Following the meat-flavored Jiang Yuzhu all the way to the kitchen, I saw that Tang Buzhuo had already prepared most of the dishes, but it seemed that she had not cooked all the dishes yet and was constantly cutting. Although Tang Buzhuo had a bad temper, her cooking skills could be said to be quite good. When she participated in a talent show, she attracted many fans by showcasing her cooking skills. I'll go, lobster, fried chicken wings, braised beef, xiaolongbao. They are all the ultimate delicacies. Tang Buzhuo looked stunning in his apron today, but Jiang Yuzhu didn't even glance at her. Food was the most important thing, and he sat down on the chair, picking up his chopsticks and about to start. In Chapter 8, Tang Buzhuo's teammate turned out to be Xiao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In Chapter 8, Tang Buzhuo's teammate turned out to be Xiao. Hey, who allowed you to eat now? Put down your chopsticks for me. Also, go wash my hands. Don't touch my chopsticks with your dirty hands. Tang Buzhuo saw Jiang Yuzhu's lack of quality and gave him a glance, ordering him to stop. Ah! You've made so much and won't refuse to eat it, will you? That's too disgusting, isn't it? Jiang Yuzhu was confused. Isn't this dish for him to eat? Can you manage who I love to eat the dishes that I cook for? Today, my former teammate from the girl group is coming to my house as a guest, and this table of dishes is made for her. You're just an accessory. Forget it, I won't tell you for now, there's one last dish that hasn't been prepared yet. Tang Buzhuo's previous girl group was named Hearttake, which means she was heartbroken, but Jiang Yuzhu knew nothing about it. In no time, the doorbell rang, and because Tang Buzhuo was busy cooking, Jiang Yuzhu had to go and open the door on his own. No wonder. Oh, it's actually a man. The girl at the door was surprised to see Jiang Yuzhu. Hello, my name is Jiang Yuzhu and I am Tang Buzhuo's father. Jiang Yuzhu greeted naturally and didn't forget to take advantage of Tang Buzhuo. At the same time, she also looked at the woman in front of her, with delicate features like a doll, fair and tender skin, wearing white short sleeves on the upper body and tight blue and white jeans on the lower body, highlighting his perfect figure. She was indeed a true beauty. But compared to Tang Buzhuo, it's still a bit less interesting. This book is set as a parallel world, so some may be different, however, one thing is still stronger than Tang Buzhuo, and that's really a bit big. As for what that is, it's really hard to say. Haha, you're so humorous. My name is Xiao. Hello. So you're Jiang Yuzhu. I used to hear about you a lot before. Xiao said with a smile on his face. Talking about me. It's really fake. She won't talk bad about me every day behind my back, will she? Jiang Yuzhu exclaimed in surprise. This is a girl's secret, I can't tell you. Xiao. You have finally arrived. Upon hearing Xiao's voice, Tang Buzhuo also ran out eagerly to welcome him. 15 minutes later, the last dish prepared by Tang Buzhuo was served. I'll go, is this the legendary 9 transformed large intestine? You won't keep some of its original flavor, will you? The large intestine in front of me is red and bright, exuding a refreshing aroma, but I don't know if it's different from what Jiang Yuzhu saw on a certain video website before. Thinking too much. How could I possibly preserve your taste? What? No, we're just 3 people today. Why did you cook so many dishes? There's so much food to eat. Just eat it, it's all made for you, after all, you rarely come as a guest. Tang Buzhuo smiled and said. Really? Do I still have so much face? Chen Xiao knew that Tang Buzhuo could never have cooked so many dishes for himself. It should be noted that in the past, Tang Buzhuo only cooked when he was in a good mood in the dormitory, and usually only cooked 3 or 4 dishes for the members of their girl group. Today, she actually cooked 8 dishes, which was really not easy. She then glanced at Jiang Yuzhu, who was enjoying the delicious food beside her. It seems that she has a great relationship with this boy, and as a result, she has developed a slight curiosity towards Jiang Yuzhu. Speaking of which, she's the childhood sweetheart Jiang Yuzhu you've been talking about before. I'm actually very handsome. Is he also a trainee who hasn't debuted yet? How could it be that I'm not interested in such a chaotic place in the entertainment industry? I'm a professional player in League of Legends. Jiang Yuzhu said without emotional intelligence, completely ignoring that these 2 girls around her are from the entertainment industry. However, they did not deny Jiang Yuzhu's statement. The entertainment industry is indeed very chaotic, with many dirty and disgusting things behind it. There are still very few people like them who can keep themselves clean. I used to be a professional player, and I also play this game. What position do you play? Wilderness, by the way, I am the world's #1 wilderness fighter. Jiang Yuzhu confidently said. Well, it seems that you should be very strong. If you have time to take me up the score. Chen Xiaoying and Dao, of course, felt that Jiang Yuzhu's claim to be the world's #1 wilderness fighter was just a joke, and she didn't think he was serious. You're still the world's #1 wilderness player, and there's no team left to take it. Tang Buzhuo couldn't bear to see Jiang Yuzhu so arrogant, so he also decided to strike him hard. It's just temporary, just being bullied by dogs when the tiger falls in the sun. As Jiang Yuzhu spoke, he inserted a 9-turn large intestine into his mouth and began to overeat. Because he was extremely hungry, Jiang Yuzhu's eating habits were unsightly. By the way, Chen Xiao, where do you play? What kind of hero do you like to play with? I hit the singles game. But I only have a golden rank, I definitely can't compete with you. As for the heroes I'm good at, let's say foxes. Chen Xiao looks like an old player, because usually only old players know the nicknames of these heroes. When looking for a new player on Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, they are likely to say 9-tailed demon fox. Fox. Is that the one wearing red clothes and with fox ears? I remember the night before yesterday when we were in a double row, you played with this. Tang Buzhuo blinked and said, looking very cute. Yes, her nickname is Fox. What the hell? You're playing this game too? Why didn't you tell me earlier? I'll take you flying. Upon learning that Tang Buzhuo had also started playing League of Legends, Jiang Yuzhu planned to take her up the score. I don't want to see you pretend in front of me every day, and I can score on my own. I don't want to rely on you. Tang Buzhuo said arrogantly. Since you don't want to rely on him, then I'll accept this great god. Upon hearing this, Chen Xiao also sat next to Jiang Yuzhu and jokingly grabbed his arm. Jiang Yuzhu felt a soft sensation and couldn't help but blush. Although he usually has thick skin, to be honest, she has never had any contact with the opposite sex except for Tang Buzhuo. Once she really comes into this kind of relationship with him, he really can't resist it. What? What? Chen Xiao, how could you betray me? Tang Buzhuo became anxious upon seeing the situation, looking a bit angry. He didn't know if he was angry at Chen Xiao for betraying her, or if he was angry at Jiang Yuzhu for being embraced by a girl and accepting it so happily. A pleasant dinner party quickly ended, and Chen Xiao finally left around 9 o'clock. Jiang Yuzhu and Tang Buzhuo also returned to their respective rooms to rest. After returning to the room, Jiang Yuzhu finally breathed a sigh of relief and took out a note from his pocket, which read Chen Xiao's phone number and League of Legends ID. Good guy, is it necessary for Chen Xiao to add me as a friend behind Tang Buzhuo's back? Jiang Yuzhu's rose to himself could not understand Chen Xiao's brain circuit. Chapter 9. Huang Jun's Revenge, Rushing to Hot Search Chapter 1. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 9. Huang Jun's Revenge, Rushing to the top of Hot Search the next morning, at only 9 o'clock, Jiang Yozhu's set alarm clock rang. Although he was still very tired, the upward momentum prompted Jiang Yozhu to get up directly. Tang Buzhuo was going to record a variety show today, so he left early, but he still thoughtfully prepared breakfast for Jiang Yozhu. However, as he had breakfast and opened his phone, he saw a message from Xiao. Last night, Xiao secretly gave him his contact information, and Jiang Yozhu also added her as a friend. Jiang Yozhu, look at Weibo, you're the top trending search. No way. Jiang Yozhu thought to himself, although his live broadcast did become popular in an instant when he shut down yesterday, being the top trending person usually requires a big celebrity to be on it. Can someone like him who is not well known also be on it? He curiously opened Weibo, and it was really him who ranked first in Weibo's hot search. The top trending and most popular entry prominently reads: RNG River has a bow, wow, why is it related to RNG again? I really don't want to see these 3 letters anymore. Jiang Yozhu's mouth twitched slightly, and his only thought for RNG was to go professional and fiercely kill this team on the field. He immediately clicked on the entry to see what exactly this hot search was about. This made him, who was originally still drowsy, immediately wake up for the most part without looking or knowing. Because the manager of RNG, Huang Jun, actually personally responded to Jiang Yozhu's live broadcast last night that RNG had blocked his contract. However, his response was completely reversing black and white. I never thought there would be such a white-eyed wolf. When Jiang Yozhu was playing at RNG, we treated him well and treated him well. We gave him an average LPL of 50,000 yuan per month, and his salary after the peaceful termination of the contract was not less than a penny. Although his gaming skills were not satisfactory, we still respect every player who loves esports. But last night, he openly slandered our club in the live broadcast, saying that we owed wages, cut contracts, and abused players. We will definitely hold him accountable for this despicable behavior and make him pay the legal price. The mice in the sewer are always mice. What's even more outrageous is that there is a lawyer's letter attached to this paragraph, which looks righteous and stern. And the comments below are mostly from Emperor Za attacking Jiang Yozhu, and the insults are as unpleasant as they seem. Some even use a few chat records of Photoshop to slander Jiang Yozhu's fans. Of course, there are also some rational people talking to Jiang Yozhu, among whom there are more EDG fans. The main reason is that last night when Jiang Yozhu and Meiko were in double row, when they talked about RNG card contracts, Meiko did not deny them, and even comforted Jiang Yozhu. As a professional player who has been playing for a long time, Meiko does not need to specifically slander RNG. Of course, most of the Imperial Miscellaneous have no brains. In their opinion, Meiko must have harbored resentment and jealousy towards RNG's results after losing to Chuanjue. Besides, last night, Jiang Yozhu's ability to treat the Korean server's top division as a drone kill was not as good as Huang Jun's game level, and it was simply not good. You should know that the factory manager is already old, and Harrow is embarrassing to use. Now, EDG fans are eagerly anticipating his arrival. Since S6, Pig Za and Emperor Za have been inseparable. Although Emperor Za is now in great power, Pig Za is still not afraid to engage in another verbal altercation with Emperor Za. This also moved Jiang Yozhu a bit in his heart. Although he usually has a crazy personality, he knows better that he is still nothing and that his lack of grades is not worth arguing about. Ding detected that the host has been slandered, and the system specifically provided evidence of Huang Jun's slander of the host. Please ask the host to slap him hard, and the system will reward him with 5 attribute values. After the system finished speaking, a USB flash drive suddenly appeared in Jiang Yozhu's hand, indicating that the evidence should be there. After opening the computer, he stuffed the USB drive in, and an additional folder appeared inside. Opening the folder, a 30-minute video appeared. Jiang Yuzhu opened the video and found that it contained real images of the unfair treatment Jiang Yuzhu received at the RNG base. For example, Jiang Yuzhu was alone in a dimly lit basement using a card to explode, with a broken screen and a junk computer to rank while eating instant noodles. And that's pretty good. Sometimes I don't even give instant noodles, I can only eat the leftovers left by the main players. There are many more like these, and besides this, there are even more heavyweight ones, which are the phone recordings and photos of Jiang Yuzhu, who was previously deceived by Huang Jun. Little pig, you also know that in terms of popularity, LPL basically ranks first in RNG. With your talent and strength, I promise to start RNG directly for you and let Uzi go to the wilderness to protect you. Of course, you also know that in terms of salary, you are a newcomer and not very famous. For now, let's start with 2,000 yuan per month. However, I promise that when you win the World Championship, you can find Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com to double it for you. Jiang Yuzhu remembers this passage very clearly. He was only 16 years old at the time and was determined to prove his strength by playing his profession. He signed an RNG with a hot head. As for the outcome later, it can only be said that young people always have to suffer some losses and have no choice. And he never expected that the system could even access these things. With these, he was not afraid of Huang Jun reversing right and wrong. However, he did not intend to release all this evidence, as there were so many pieces of information that needed to be slowly exposed in order to cause a greater blow to the other party. Now, his first priority is to prove his innocence. He then opened the live broadcast, and as soon as he opened the room, countless miscellaneous items rushed in like locusts passing through. Now is the time when the power of the Imperial Miscellaneous was at its peak. Although there were also a few pig miscellaneous speaking for him, the Imperial Miscellaneous believed that there were too many, which completely drowned out those rational voices. The sewer mouse man is here. Rank was lucky enough to win a few games and really treated himself like a character. He spread rumors live. The mouse man looks so creepy, he's really like a mouse. He was born out of his heart. RNG and Uzi are your lifelong overlap. It seems that due to Huang Jun's previous statement about mice in the sewer, Jiang Yuzhu has now come up with a new black named Mouse Man, which is quite common in the esports industry. However, for these clown emperors, Jiang Yuzhu will soon make them shut up. Huang Za, can you stop shouting? Listening to the wind is like rain, it seems like RNG has really been stacked. Alright, since manager Huang Jun likes to be tough and even sends a lawyer's letter, then let's just expose the big news. After Jiang Yuzhu finished speaking, without hesitation, he played the recording of Huang Jun's phone call in the live broadcast room, and at this moment, the situation underwent a huge reversal. Chapter 10. RNG Cold Treatment. Small milk tea buying hot search. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 RNG Cold Treatment. Small milk tea buying hot search. Seeking collection and follow. Up reading, little pig, you also know that in terms of popularity, our RNG team is basically the top in LPL. With your talent and strength, I promise to start for you directly and let Uzi go to the wilderness to protect you. Of course, you also know about the salary. After all, you are a newcomer with little fame, so let's start with 2,000 yuan per month for now. However, I promise that when you win the World Championship, you will receive a tenfold increase. As soon as the recording was released, public opinion exploded again, and most of the Imperial miscellaneous items in Jiang Yuzhu's live broadcast room were shut up, with only a few remaining stubborn. Saying that Jiang Yuzhu recorded a fake and framed RNG is the most clownish thing. Jiang Yuzhu is too lazy to pay attention. Oh my goodness, RNG's manager is not a good person either. Yeah, he said he's going to start, but I haven't seen anyone see him in this spring's competition. And the monthly salary is only 2,000 yuan. This is a professional athlete. Not to mention how well Jiang Yuzhu played in the competition, just his impressive skills and consciousness in playing Korean server yesterday. He has to earn 6 figures a month to accompany live streaming. RNG was really born, and Jiang Yuzhu gave up his career dream of earning 6 figures a month and signed them a contract worth 2,000 yuan per month. Such a good player, how could RNG treat him like this? At this point, public opinion has completely reversed, and the audience is starting to feel sorry for Jiang Yuzhu one by one. This RNG is indeed not something that needs to be said. And originally still scrolling through Weibo, Huang, who was enjoying watching the Emperor's miscellaneous comments on Jiang Yuzhu, suddenly realized that the top trending topic on Weibo had become RNG costs 2,000 yuan per month. He hurriedly clicked in to take a look and suddenly realized that his previous phone recordings of RNG giving him various pancakes to deceive Jiang Yuzhu were directly exposed by Jiang Yuzhu. He never expected that Jiang Yuzhu would still keep the phone recording. Before, he thought that Jiang Yuzhu, a young 17-year-old brat, probably wouldn't have such a heart and couldn't possibly compete with him. Unexpectedly, it's over. It's over. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have bought that hot search. Speaking of which, there won't be any other evidence for the existence of Zhujiang, right? Thinking of this, he couldn't help but sweat profusely, and at the same time, his phone rang again. The other person was RNG's current boss, by Xian. He knew it was not a good thing, but he had to take it. Hello. Boss. Huang stuttered, his tone full of fear. He has caused a big trouble this time, and now RNG's black hot search is hanging high in the first place, which is undoubtedly very detrimental to the image of their club. You dance like this, take down the hot search for me, and then don't have any further response to this matter. Do you understand? By Xian angrily said on the phone. Yes, yes, yes. Definitely. I'm sorry, boss. Despite being separated by the phone, Huang still nodded and bowed hesitantly. As Bai Xian hung up the phone, Huang had to pay out of his own pocket to have RNG's marketing department buy several popular searches for entertainment industry celebrities, and slowly withdraw RNG's monthly search of 2,000 yuan. However, this was no different from hiding one's ear and stealing the bell. Now the entire esports industry, from commentators, athletes to audiences, has already known about this matter, and RNG's official blog has also exploded. Countless workers who sympathize with Jiang Yuzhu are criticizing this unscrupulous company below. Huang had no choice but to plead with the contestants to post on Weibo. After all, RNG's high popularity still relies on the champions they have won. If they can help RNG speak up, they should be able to salvage some reputation. And Uzi and the account cancellation both posted Weibo without hesitation, believing in RNG. They had a bad relationship with Jiang Yuzhu from the beginning. Uzi goes without saying that there was a conflict with Jiang Yuzhu during the previous training match. Later, when Jiang Yuzhu left RNG, he even pointed at his nose and sprayed fiercely. It's strange not to hold grudges. As for account cancellation, it's a long story. When Jiang Yuzhu first came to the base, her girlfriend Xiao happened to come to the base to play. After seeing Jiang Yuzhu, her eyes never moved away from him. She asked him for Jiang Yuzhu's WeChat several times later. This makes the cancellation of accounts feel a sense of crisis. Although Jiang Yuzhu had no regard for Li Niao, out of jealousy, he secretly suggested to Huang to drive Jiang Yuzhu to the basement. Compared to Uzi's clearly disgusting personality, his tendency to close accounts makes him prefer to make small moves in secret. And Xiaoming, let younger brother MLXG, and Casa see that the two big brothers in the team have done it, so naturally they can only follow and repost Weibo that they believe in RNG. Finally, RNG's public opinion has slightly improved. However, because the recording by Huang was too explosive, there were still a large group of people spraying RNG in various places such as Chiba, Weibo, and Jihu. But at present, RNG's public relations can only do this, and teams with strong marketing capabilities cannot wash away Huang Jun's recording. Therefore, cold treatment was ultimately chosen. Ding! Successful facial recognition rewards RNG with 5 attribute points. At this time, Jiang Yuzhu, who was still live streaming, once again gained 5 attribute points and smiled at Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Now the RNG management team should not dare to discuss themselves. And afterwards, he had many ways to make them uncomfortable. Alright, that's all for today's face slapping and miscellaneous segment. The anchor will continue to score. Please don't leave. After humiliating RNG, Jiang Yuzhu did not forget the main matter just because she was too proud. Then, she opened her Korean server and continued to score, and at the same time in a sports hall in Donghai City, Tang Buzhuo, who had finished recording a variety show, was sitting in the lounge. Holding his phone, he saw that Jiang Yuzhu in the live broadcast room had actually produced concrete evidence to confront the manager of RNG, and he also burst into laughter. What kind of outfit should I put on? I bought this new hot search for you on my behalf. Without me, I wouldn't have had such an effect. Since this morning when she saw Jiang Yuzhu's black hot search ranking first, her first reaction was to be anxious. She even wanted to ignore the opposition of her agent and post Weibo to help Jiang Yuzhu speak, but unfortunately her Weibo was not under her control. Considering her identity, her agent also directly refused her request and asked her to stay away from Jiang Yuzhu, a promiscuous unemployed youth, in the future. She even had an argument with her agent about this, and even used dismissal as a threat. She absolutely cannot tolerate Jiang Yuzhu being so slandered. Fortunately, Jiang Yuzhu successfully provided evidence, and after Jiang Yuzhu's live stream slapped him in the face, she directly bought a RNG 2,000 yuan per month hot search to help him expand his influence. And while she smiled, she never forgot to brush bullet comments and gifts in Jiang Yuzhu's live broadcast room, and if someone was by her side, she could clearly see her ID called. Taro round wave little milk tea.